more comfortable. For that reason, the Victorian people started talking about light meat, dark meat, and drumsticks. Because they were ashamed to name certain body parts. Nobody at the dinner table really wanted to hear Uncle Herbert say, "Margaret, forget about those thighs. Give me one of your juicy breasts." It would have made them uncomfortable. And for the same reason, at the same time, belly became stomach. And then stomach became tummy. Now, I first learned about euphemisms when I was 9 years old. I was in the room with my mother and Aunt Lil. And I mentioned that Aunt Lil had a mole on her face. Well, Mother told me, "No, that's not a mole. That's a beauty mark." This was confusing to a young boy like me, because I could tell just by looking that the beauty mark was not working. It was even more confusing because Uncle John had a black thing on the side of his face. It obviously was not a beauty mark. On that day, I discovered that what on some people are beauty marks are really moles. And then I discovered some years later that on those same people, laugh lines look a lot like crow's feet. Well, this beauty mark scam was so successful that for several years, women used an eyebrow pencil to give themselves fake beauty marks, since no woman could give herself a fake mole. It's hard to imagine Elizabeth Taylor saying to Joan Crawford, "Lend me your eyebrow pencil. I want to give myself a fake mole." Well, a few years after the Aunt Lil incident, I began to appreciate the fact that to some people, my horrible, ugly pimples were no more than minor skin blemishes. Another reason for using euphemisms is to dress up phrases that have come to sound too negative. That is why non-profit became not-for-profit. Non-profit made it sound like somebody screwed up. Whereas non-profit makes it clear that there was never an intention of making a profit in the first place. Another reason for euphemisms is that some phrases have just come to seem too ordinary. And that is why many things which used to be free are now complimentary. asking the hotel clerk, is the newspaper free, makes you sound like a mooch. But is the paper complimentary, leaves you some shred of dignity. And for that same reason, some hotels offer their guests complimentary continental breakfast, while other hotels simply serve their customers free donuts. Next topic, the real man. A real man has to make believe. Well, that's an interesting statement right there, isn't it? A real man has to make believe that he always knows what he's doing. And while he's doing whatever it is he's doing, he has to make believe that he doesn't need any help. A real man has to make believe that he can fix anything. Go ahead, laugh. It's all right. And if he can't fix it now, he can fix it later. And if he can't fix it later, he has a friend who can fix it. And if his friend can't fix it, it's not worth fixing. It was no good to start with. Besides, he knows where he can buy something better, much cheaper. Only they're all sold out now. And the store's closed. That is called the male disease. The medical name for it is being full of crap. This disease makes a man feel like he has to be in charge all the time. King of the hill, leader of the pack, captain of the ship. But while he's doing that, he still has to get along with the other fellas. So he has to do all the things they do so he can fit in. He has to get a good job, get a promotion, get a raise, buy a Porsche convertible, get a wife who will immediately trade the Porsche convertible for a sensible Dodge van with folding seats. A real man never goes to the doctor or hospital unless it has been proved to him that he's been clinically dead for 6 months. And he never admits to feeling any pain. He's sitting there with 3 bleeding holes in his head. But he says, I'm fine. Give me the remote and a beer and get out of here. Real man learns all this crap from his father. You'd better stop that crying or I'll come up there and give you something to cry about. Great stuff, huh? All the problems in the world can be traced to the things fathers do to their sons. Fathers teach their sons to repress every feeling that they have. And society loves this because when the child is 18, he can go overseas don't, the guys will think I'm afraid to go overseas and get my ball shot off. Now, thanks to all this repression of feeling, the average man's emotional expression is limited to high fives. Or if he's really deeply moved, high tens. But that's the extent of it. And he has his father to thank for all that. Gee, thanks, Dad. Now, don't get me wrong. Dads can be a lot of fun. After all, they introduce their sons to the real man's world. The real He-Man, macho world. No wussies, no pussies allowed.